Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. And my rule is one strike and you're out. Let's be happy while we're here. I don't know if I I don't know if I can sustain. God, I hope somebody else is not streaming right now. I hope Psycho Platters is not streaming right now. I'm reminded of that Norm Macdonald bit what that he did at the end of this last performance, the last stand up on Letterman. God, that was so good. It was so good. He tells the story about and who did Germany decide to take as their enemy? But the world. It had never been tempted before. Schlankily, clankily. You've seen that bit. It's so funny. But he says, and things have changed around here. I remember when we used to, you know, we used to take a picture with a camera, not with a phone. And he says, back in the old days, they had the camera with the thing that went poof, and every guy had one picture of himself, and he looked like this. Like who's gonna get back and feed them hogs? And he says, nowadays, in the future, people are gonna say. Now everybody has, back in the old days, everybody had one picture of their grandparents. Now in the future, you know, you're gonna be able to say, "Hey, you want to see a picture of my grandfather and everything he did and ate for his whole life?" And which is to say, I don't know if I can fill. It's pretty big headed to think that I can fill dead airspace every single day virtually. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is like the sixth time I've I've been online. I from the UK. I'm driving. Got to keep my eyes on the road and your hands upon the wheel. But I'm just streaming on my ride home. It's 30. It's a 30-minute drive home, if that. And from dropping my kid off, and it's a real nice drive. This I'll just a real nice drive. This is not the greatest angle, but I like to fire up the camera at this time. This is like a little 30-minute window that I have to myself. It's kind of like a nice time to just kind of get going, and I don't know. It feels like a journaling. It's like vlogging, but video journaling or something. There's Meiji, or excuse me, wait, Meiji Stadium. Is that right? Jingu Stadium, and over there in the distance is the Olympic Stadium. That's the 2020. When Tokyo hosted the Olympics, 2020 Tokyo Olympic Stadium, and my daughter was there just last weekend. Not this weekend that just passed, but the weekend before, seeing the high school soccer championships. And anyway, I just like to take this time to like ride home and reflect and riff and vamp and geek out and maybe make a little bit of a fool of myself because I often don't come on with a plan. But I've been pretty regularly streaming at this time. It's an easy time for me to get out and just kind of flex this muscle, and so I'm gonna keep doing it. But yeah, I was gonna kind of report what happened over the weekend in my world. Not that anybody. Maybe I'll go back and look at this stream on I do go back. I kind of wonder about this. Do you go back and watch your videos? If you're out in YouTube land making videos, do you go back and like watch your videos a lot of times? Do you go back and watch your own live streams? Do you go back and watch live streams that you appeared on? I like to go back and just I do, and I kind of like to burn them to memory. It's sort of like listening to an album. I like to listen to it 3 times, 4 times, and like on double speed or whatever it is, so that I can just really get remember how it went. I don't know if that's a good. These late night TV show guys, they say they can't watch themselves. And some movie stars, they say they can't watch themselves, but I do go back and watch a lot of them. Um, so maybe I'm just writing to or vlogging to a future self. I do like sometimes I'll go back and watch something from a year ago and I'm like, whoa, I totally forgot about that. Whoa, yeah, that's right. I should bring that back to the front burner. Anyway, it's a jaunt across Tokyo back home, and it's just enough time to share kind of my what I did this weekend. Saturday or Friday night, I had like a office thing that was really fun. Then I went to this club and danced till 1 a.m. Pretty tame, but I didn't really. I was dancing, but I was photographing the event. Then I had a little family event on Saturday. It was really fun. And listened to a lot of music. Man, I'm listening to this amazing record by the Rheostatics that Mark Lassman sent me. The Rheostatics newest release, it's called it's the Great Lakes or something. The Great Lakes Suite, perhaps. It's 4 sides, and it's sort of atmosphere. It's got songs, but if you read the liner notes, it says like they recorded it in a day and without a plan at all or something like that. And man, it is good and it sounds good and it's a experience. It takes you through a whole very Rheostatics. I didn't know. And Alex, the other guy from Rush, the guitar player from Rush, is shreds on it. The guitar playing is really, really, really good. And I never quite remember his name. Of course, no Neil and Getty, but Alex is the other guy. A really great record. Listen to that one. Listen to Kev Mo and Taj Mahal's record. It's called like TajMo, maybe. Um, I listened to the New Jack City soundtrack. I scored that the other day. I was like, I think I had this when I was a kid. I remember that movie, and I think I might have had that soundtrack on cassette. And so I saw it the other day for like $2. I was like, I'm gonna get this. And I went and listened to it, and it's got like Color Me Bad on it. It's got Belle Biv DeVoe on it. It's got like Queen Latifah and Ice T, and it's I don't know. I don't know if I need to hang on to it, but it was fun. It was a fun listen. And then I listened also to I got a 12-inch single of Express Yourself. Now get back to reality. That's program, and this is easy. Dre is back. New Jack, some man holla. Especially because I like the style, the words, the styles, the strengths, expresses to the other end. You know the one. It's on NWA. Straight out of Compton. And but I was expecting like the 12-inch single to be like just super hot and like an interesting because I was like, I'll spin that. I mean, that's my kind of my favorite track on the album, and um, but I much preferred the album version over the 12-inch single. Anyway, what else did I listen to? I've got Daft Punk was in my ears all weekend long, all in the car. I got Daft Punk in the stereo right now, Discovery. It's just like great to rediscover that record. I had it on vinyl. I think I've mentioned this on the last stream, and I gave it to my friend as a housewarming present, not really realizing what I was giving him. It was probably like a first pressing, and I was like, I'm still happy I gave it to him, but I thought I would easily replace it, and I later found out it was going to cost me like 100, $200 to replace it. I was like, whoops. And one of the things that I remember about the record is that you open it up and it has this credit card, this like membership style, like plastic credit card in it. And I remember like that was one of the reasons I wanted to give it to him. I was like, "Hey, check out the card on the inside." And he opened it up. He's like, "Oh, cool." And then I was kind of bummed that I probably wasn't going to replace that record into my collection. So I went out and bought it on CD, and I think I played it a handful of times, and then it's in the stereo at the moment. But then I didn't notice, but behind the CD is the credit card in the CD version. Can you see that? I know, Mazzy. I know. I'm doing my best here. You know what, Mazzy? I was thinking about it. Mazzy's calling me out. He's calling me out here. He's like, stop streaming from the fucking car. Well, I only have this time to stream, and the fact that Mazzy, the great and powerful Mazzy, is complaining about my stream in the car all the time suggests that uh, Mazzy's tuning in frequently, which makes me I feel good about myself. I'm feeling real good about myself. So Mazzy and I were hanging on Rachel's stream last night. I just like her so much. I like those guys so much, and I have to have restraint to go on to that show. Like I'm like, don't go on, don't. You don't have anything to say. You don't have any. Like, just stay away. Like, just let somebody else have it. And I find myself constantly like, don't do it, don't do it. This just. And then I won't get on in the show because I grounded myself. I grounded Rachel, and she doesn't know this. I've I finally figured out a way to articulate it. She can find out now if she hasn't heard this. I grounded her show from me for a year, a whole year. I basically tried and succeeded. Beautiful little blue lotus here, Esprit. Elise, this is the Elise. Um, after she fucking after I got thrown under the bus, partly because of you, Mazzy. I just decided, wow, okay, they don't get the privilege to hang out with me for a little while. I'll stay here in the gallery, but I'm gonna ban myself for a while, and I did. And then now the new year rolled around, and I'm like out of jail or whatever, and it's only January, whatever it is, and I've already been on her show like 3 times or maybe more even. She's just so funny. Fucking Harry's so funny. And everybody who just hangs out, they're so interesting and they're so weird, and it's just such like a weird collection of people, and like the stew that they all make together. Even the fucking pricks. It's so funny. It's a funny little world. So yeah, I hung out on races. So I was on streaming like 12 hours ago, less than even. In fact, I had to get off at 3 a.m. It hasn't been 12 hours. It's been fucking 5 hours. That's how little sleep I run on. FYI, cut me a little slack. I got off at 3:30 a.m. I've already made breakfast for 2 kids, got coffee, driven them both to school, going back home, doing the laundry, the kitchen, cleaning up so that when my wife comes home, she'll cook lunch and dinner for tomorrow. And yeah, I'm running on. It's I'm not bitching, but I'm just saying, God bless my parents. That's what I'm saying. Basically, is that God bless all the parents, but especially my parents who, you just didn't realize how hard they've worked to give you the life that they did. So, but I wanted to share a little bit more because yesterday I went to some record stores, and that's kind of why I was coming on to chat. Let me see. I might have stoplight here. I'll read some comments. A from UK. That's Neil Jeffries. Nice to see you, Neil. Okay, this is great. Okay, the Uber VC continues here. The Uber VC. Oh, I get it. I didn't get it before. Okay, I get it. No, the Uber VC. That's pretty good. Could I come up with yeah, Boober or yeah, Boober is pretty good. What would be good? Boober. Yeah, that's pretty good. YouTuber. That's good, Mazzy. That's pretty good. The Uber VC. I see some other. I've inspired some other people. I've seen more people streaming from the car. I don't recommend it. Don't try this at home, kids. Daft Punk, Godzilla Vinyl. Daft Punk Alive 1997. Amazing. Yeah, so true. Hello, dude, from Chris Hill. Nice to see you. Thanks for the comments, Chris Hill. I saw them. If I haven't replied already, I will. But yesterday, I had a kind of a big music day. I came on streaming yesterday morning. Hopefully, some of you caught it. It was actually kind of an interesting stream. I was joined by a guest who sat here in the co-pilot seat, Lauren from LA, who's working with this company called Cometa. I kind of want to pronounce it like a Japanese way, Cometa. And man, these guys have built the most gorgeous rotary mixer. They call it a blending preamp, which is an interesting thing. I'm doing Tune in Tokyo. Yeah, really amazing design. It's just this black aluminum chassis that's like so heavy and huge. And it's just got like a lid on it that comes up. The circuitry is insane. And all it just looks infinitely like more well made than anything that like I've ever seen the guts of. I mean, I sometimes take these things apart, and sometimes there's a lot of stuff in them, and sometimes there's not a lot of stuff in them, and sometimes it looks like it's haphazard, and but somebody who's taken like, you're never going to see the inside of this thing as the owner. Well, maybe it's just beautiful engineering, just really beautiful industrial engineering, and the interface is really nice. And actually, they have now I'm not going to be able to explain it, but they have like the Q buttons, and they have the lines buttons, and there's a bit of tone control, but I should have dived into it, but like the tone control, there's like one main tone control, and it kind of takes you, like, I think all the way to the left. You've got um what is it, like high end cut off, and then if you all the way to the right, you got low end cut off. But the way that it turns, it's like you have to turn it a handful of times, or it takes big swipes before you can get it to activate, which is nice. It's got a long stride. I don't know how to say it, but a long throw maybe. And they use some technology from the Beatles. They used some from Abbey Road. The faders that they did on something operated in this way, and they used some. I heard him mention it twice. I didn't really remember what it was. Anyway, he brought this mixer, this Cometa M2 mixer. I shouldn't say the price, but probably affordable only to people who are spending. Let's just say if you've spent like let's say like 10 grand on an amp, and you've spent maybe the same on speakers and a turntable or something like that. Let's say you have one of those kinds of systems, in the five digits, uh, this mixer, this sound, blending preamp might be the most expensive component in your system. And so the way that it's built for like these. One application is that like you're sitting in your listening chair in your room, and right in front of you you have a table, and on that table you have this mixer, and it's like a blend. That's why they call it a blending preamp. And it's a really interesting project. But anyway, so we pick this thing up and we go over to Ginza Records, and they have really cool images on the landing page on the M2 of their landing site. Yeah, Cometa, 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 Cometa. I'm not sure what it is. Cometa dot. I think a dot. Yeah, I'm not sure. Dot whatever. But look up Cometa mixer or blending two is the model. And so Lauren was over here shopping for records and shopping and shopping this idea, this whole sort of concept around, because there's not a lot of rotary mixers quite like this one on the market. There's rotary mixers out there, but of course the vintage stuff from the 70s and 80s, and I don't even know if the 70s, it might be like 80s and beyond. And and then there's some sort of like some prosumer or some consumer rotary mixers out there that you can buy on like Amazon and things like that. But there's still like the cheapest rotary mixer that you can buy is like as expensive as the cheapest one is the, what am I trying to say? Like the least. Anyway, they're expensive. That's all I'm trying to say. Um, but we go over to Ginza Records, and Ginza's like Beverly Hills kind of. It's like Ginza. The Ginza is the really posh part of Tokyo, the most posh part of Tokyo. There's other places that are posh, but Ginza is like the posh place. And there's a legendary department store, and a guy is running a record store in the department store called Ginza Records, and it's in the Hankyu department store, which is right there at Yurdacho Station. And anyway, he's got a listening room inside this department store. It's a very cool record store, and I guess it was going really well. And Shinkawa-san, runs a website in Tokyo that's over 20 years old, and it's called SoundLink, I think. It's called SoundLink, maybe like .jp, and it's a Japanese website for somebody will know about this better than me. But you know how like when you go to a record store in the US or maybe UK as well, or all around the world, I don't know, but I think it might be a US specific platform. It's I can see that a bunch of record stores are using the same platform. They're using the same service, and they like when records are in stock, or it's not. I don't know if it's a shopping cart or it's the inventory system. I don't know what it is, but it's some record store system that a lot of them seem to use, and because it looks identical on all the different websites. But if you go, I guess if you have a record in stock, almost like Discogs, you can go to this platform and say that you have it in stock. And I don't know, it's an inventory keeping platform, I guess. And I see lots of US websites using it. For the Japan websites, for the Japan comparable, this guy, Shinkawa-san, wrote the software and the platform for it. And it's called SoundLink, and nobody uses it outside of Japan, but it's been around for over 20 years. And I guess, like how Discogs gets a cut of every sale, I'm guessing he gets a cut of every sale, that every Japanese record that gets sold on SoundLink. And so I don't know if which makes me think he's doing really well for himself, but maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea. But he's well put together, and he's got he's cool. He's very, very cool. And he's got his pockets are deep enough to have a shop in a really, really, really posh part of town, and for it to do well. And he's opening up another shop, or he has already opened up another shop in Kurumai, which is another really cool part of Tokyo. And I went there for the second time yesterday, and man, he was like, let's plug it in. I want to hear it. He was so stoked to hear it. Um, and I got to hear Lauren go off about how it was, discrete circuitry and class A terminology. And op-end amps. I mean, my dad tried to teach me this stuff when I was a kid. My dad built radios, but and he talked about these are hand wound coils and hand wound transformers. I don't even know, but he could go off about the circuitry on the board, and it was fun to just hear him talking about it. I should have studied a little bit closer, but he and Shinkawa-san were speaking the same language, and like Shinkawa-san was cranking like Michael Jackson and Steely Dan, and he has these like incredible speakers, and we're in a record store, just like having a freaking blast with this mixer, and and the customers were coming in, and Shinkawa-san just unapologetically was just cranking it, and he was like, "Oh, don't mind me, I'm just testing out this super awesome mixer." And it was super fun. And he was just like we're going around his record store as if it was his private collection, which it kind of is, and just like pulling out records that he knew that were in the bins, and he just was like, "Oh, I pulled this out and put that on," and it was really really fun. And and he says that he showed Lauren a copy. He showed Lauren on his phone a video of a guy who I'm gonna fail to remember his name, a DJ who's like I've been told he's the Jimi Hendrix of rotary DJs. And when he plays, he breaks the things. He's known for breaking mixers because he mixes so hard. And he's got the only difference between a rotary mixer and a like typical DJ mixer is like rotaries have pots and rather than faders, right? That's basically the only not the only difference, but as far as like an interface kind of, they still have the same cue buttons and the same line and phonos and and program and queuing and that kind of stuff, but you just, rather than using a fader either fading out the channels or left or right, you just use these dials. And so when you watch these guys who are doing like scratching and they're using the faders to do it, that's a technique that you can only do with faders. And there's another technique. I actually have never even seen it before, but there's another technique where these guys get crazy with the pots, which is just sounds really silly. But yes, they're getting it. So anyway, the Jimi Hendrix of rotary mixers, which is the way I heard him described, played. It's like world famous DJ from New York, Jackson, I want to say his name is. He played, he came to Tokyo and he played at Ginza Records in Kurumai. He played at the very sound system where we were. And Shinkawa-san was telling Lauren, hey, this is one of my buddies. He's come here and played this party. We have parties here every Mondays and Wednesdays. We're looking for more parties. And I was like, I'm looking for a home base to host my party because I have a party that I do. And we kind of lost our venue a little bit. And so he was like, yeah, let's talk. And so it's on the other side of town. I don't really want to go all the way over there, but it's a fucking groovy space. And I've been wanting to host my event in a record store for a very long time. I just like the idea of doing my stuff. Like this would be way cooler in a record store than in a crappy, wait, I should take that back. It's not a crappy car. It's a nice car. We had a crappy car that I also called a crappy car that didn't really deserve to be crappy, but another car before this one. And I called it, I flagged off on it so hard, but it was actually a great little car. Any car that's, keeping you going is a great car, really. So it was a really fun day with Kometa at Ginza Records in Kurumai. And from there, we went and picked up my kid and brought my kid home because she had a thing that she was doing. And then we went out to Organic Music, which is Chi Shimizu's place. And man, she's like, dude, his system sounds so good. He's got another sort of listening bar record store. And Lauren bought like a lot of records there. And we auditioned the product there, or he did. And she was just like so plugged into it. She's got, he's got like an arsenal of cartridges. And Lauren had some interesting cartridges with him too. It was like, I heard PB Thal talking about that Denon cartridge that you can mod it. This little, I don't know anything about cartridges, but there's a Denon cartridge out there on the market somewhere. It's got this just kind of cube shape, slightly sort of diamondish, but it's just basically a cubic sort of thing. And I guess you can take it apart and you can mod it. And there's some guy in California or somewhere that like if you send him that a brand new one, he'll do some mod to it and turn it into a really good sounding, a much better sounding cartridge. And Lauren had a couple of cartridges that he brought with him that were, I think, from the company Kometsu, Japanese cartridge maker. But there's a guy, maybe it might be the same guy, but he's modding them. And the Denon, yeah, is that what I said? The Denon 103R, that's probably the one, the Denon one. The Kometsu, I'm not sure what that one is. The Kometsu looks a little bit, it's a different form factor than that one that I'm talking about. I've never seen that. I don't think I've ever even seen anybody who's owned that Denon cartridge, but I've seen it for sale at a lot of places. I don't think I've ever heard it either. Good to see you, Gary Harris. Isa Tsubono, they have really cool images on their landing page. Oh, that was you who left that comment. Thank you very much. Yeah, very beautiful. Hey, Elaine, sorry I missed you that comment. Hello, hot damn, Elaine's in the house. Checked out. Yeah, cool. All right. So then we go over to Cheese, and Cheese, like, we plug it in, and Cheese, one of these guys who, there are these cool kids in Japan who, if you're a movie star, uh, and you come over and you're like a Bill Murray or I don't know about like a DiCaprio or somebody like that, but if you're a Bill Murray or in the Sofia Coppola, Wes Anderson world, you meet up with Kun-san, Kunichi Nomura. I think his name's Kunichi Nomura. And he goes by Kun-san. He wears sunglasses in the day all day, every day, and he's just like he ran a magazine for a long time, and he's a fixer of sorts. And if you're in the music world, Kishimizu is on your radar as somebody who you want to get plugged into. And maybe I didn't know that when I got to know him. Maybe I did, but he's very, very sweet and friendly to me. And he comped all of some things that I brought over. It was good for me. It was good Tokyo Record style connections. I was walking. Lauren bought a bunch of stuff. It was a really great thing. People came to the shop to check it out. And it was like not bragging rights all around, but everybody kind of wanted to hear what was going on. And I was like, oh, I need to settle up with you. And he was like, it's taken care of. And I was like, oh, nice, dude. Okay, so I'm getting comped by Chishi. That's kind of cool. It was a fun little flex. Chi is your homie? Or that's the homie. Yeah, that's Kunichi-san. If you know Kunichi, if that's what you're talking about. Is Kunichi your homie? He's not my homie. I know. I've met Kun-san. I don't think he'll know who I am, but I've worked with him once, and I've seen him around, and I've even said to him, Kuni-san, and he's ignored me. I saw him on the street. I've seen him on the streets a couple of times, and sometimes I pulled up next to him, and I don't know. I don't think he recognizes me, but that's funny. Yeah. So anyway, Kun-san, is he your friend by any chance? Tsubono. I assume you're Japanese. Itsa Tsubono. Let me know. I want to. I'll hang with Kunichi-san. Maybe I'll hang. I mean, I'd love to like. I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually cool enough to hang out with him. He seems like supremely cool, like too cool. I don't want to talk shit, but like he just. And I can't really. I can't deal with smoke, man. That's the. It's like it's such a deal breaker. I like almost can't deal with it. And these guys, they all smoke. All the cool kids smoke cigarettes. I can't deal, man. I just can't deal. I can't even like be around. I can't. I can't. I just can't. Dude, you're the cool. Well, it's fun that um, it's cool that I rolled in and like she's like because Lauren was really excited to meet Chi because Chi's reputation precedes himself and like he was like, "Can you introduce?" And then can we go there? I really want to go to Cheese Place, and if you can introduce me to him, then that would be really great. And when I rolled up, she's like, "Yo, Brian, what's up? Nice to see you. Where have you been, dude? You haven't been here in a year." And I was like, "I got other, that's like sorry." And he's like, "Yeah, man, we changed the place." And Kane Kosani, his wife, is really sweet. She's like, "Oh, I thought you would have." I said, "Hey, Kaneko," and she was like, "Oh, I thought you would have forgotten about me." I'm like, "How could I forget about you?" And she was like, "Oh," and then I mean, it wasn't like. I mean, I do admit, like, when I go places, I'm loud. I'm slightly obnoxious. I admit it. I'm like, and I'm nervous because I don't speak that well, Japanese. And so I start compensating for that by like talking too much and talking too loud. And people are, and by the time I have to be mindful of when it's time to leave, I need to get out before I like exhaust people. You can probably tell on the stream that I'm like, I, it might be exhausting to hang out with. Gary Harris, yeah, the smoky man. It's just like it's so hard. It's not even the like this. I hate. I hate smelling it on me, but I hate it in my brain. It gets inside my body, and it like it's. I can feel it in my toes. It's just like all over me, and I hate it. I really really hate it. And I was thinking about it this weekend. I was just thinking like because I went to that club on Friday night, and I was thinking like, how do people do this? How do people I think I just, yeah, I just, how can you poison yourself? I mean, I'm one to talk because, I've had my escapades I've done it all really, but like, yeah, it's just that one. And, you could see people, they're addicted, like the addiction. It's not they can't function. They can't like, they need a break. They need I can't, can I have 5 minutes for a smoking break? Yeah. I'll wait for you while you deal with your ball and chain. I wish you could have some freedom for yourself. That's what I'm thinking to them. There's a beautiful little dog. It's a good looking dog. I'm gonna go get some gasoline. I just noticed that my gas light came on. And so that if my wife uses the car tonight, there's a bicycle. Yeah, I see him. I'm gonna go this way actually. Oh, okay. If my wife needs to use the car, she's not gonna make a claim. The thing you know, not that my a silly little thing to mention, but like my if I go, take the car, go run around, make some money on a Saturday, my wife is like both sort of happy and upset at the same time. She's happy that I'm like out being industrious, but she hates that, like I might not be helping the kids with the homework or whatever. Or just, but she also is like, it's nice for me to be out of the house, just to have the house to herself a little bit because, it's like, it's all push and pull, give and take. But if she gets into the car and has to go across town to pick a kid up at something, and the gas tank is full of gas, then, or the refrigerator is full of food, she's, I know the feeling that she has. I know that she says, "Oh, okay." So I want her to have those moments. I want her to have those feelings. I want her to have that confidence in me. And it's like, I don't know, to anybody who's like a father out there, um, or a parent, don't have to necessarily be a father, but like, you know, I love this experience of like buying ice cream. I love like being at the grocery store and being like, you're walking past the freezers and you're like, ooh, some Haagen Dazs. Mm. Could I splurge for some Haagen Dazs today? And then you're like, yes, okay, I'll bring some home, some Haagen Dazs, and everybody will be stoked. And then you get the Haagen Dazs, and then you get home and you put it in the freezer, and then you sit in your chair, you listen to some records, you fall asleep, and because you're so tired, and then the next night rolls around. Oh, come inside. The next night you roll around. Come inside, daijoubu desu ka? Um, only to you go to open the freezer and only to find out that everybody ate all the ice cream's gone. Like, damn it! I got ice cream. よろしくお願いします。反対してください。はい。レギュラーでカードでお願いします。大丈夫です。ありがとうございます。So, um, but do you feel like I provided for my family? You're like those little fuckers, they ate all my ice cream, but yes, I got ice cream and they ate it all, and it's all gone. There was food. I grew something. I planted a seed and it produced fruit. It sounds my ice cream is yeah, anyway, you get it. So this is kind of interesting. I'm going to sign off here in a bit, just getting the gas, but just for your interest, I hate that you have to air out your clothes after something like that. I know it's the worst. It's really the worst. In Japan, it's like America. You guys don't have smoking indoors. Here, we have it indoors, which sounds like terrible. Hi, Azemas. But um, it's kind of nice because people don't really smoke on the streets. They do, but people generally, anyway. Yeah, smoking's no fun. And they just turn a blind eye. The laws are set up so you're not supposed to smoke in restaurants or bars and stuff, but people just do. And they don't, there's not enough enforcement for anybody to really care. Nobody really cares anyway. Anybody who's like worried about smoking isn't, it kind of becomes like, who really is the onus on if there's smoking in your restaurant? Okay, fine. The law is that there should be no smoking, but really, like, should there be a law about that? Maybe we don't need a law about it. Maybe we do. I don't know. But like, if you're a business, and you let the market decide what it wants, and you're an employee, and you're a person who wants to either be employed or patron the shop. I mean, it should be up to you. Maybe you should vote with your money. Maybe. Um, Anyway, I'll just mention that I'm here getting gas at the gas station. The guy just rolled up to the window. It's self serve. Not every place is self serve, but demos. Demos. 右、こっちで、左。Um, they roll up. It's full service. This one's full service. No, they're not all for full service, but most of them are. But he rolls up and he says, "All right, what do you want?" I just said like regular, fill it up. Here's the card, and he says, "Do you want your windows cleaned?" Which is kind of nice. And I just had the windows cleaned by another filling station like last time, and so they seem to be perfectly clean. It hasn't rained or anything, and I don't really want him to do something that he doesn't need to do. So I just said, "Nah, man, it's fine." But every time they ask you, "Do you want me to clean your windows?" and they do like the 1950s, clean your windows, which is a riot. Okay. Got to get to work. Thanks for hanging out. That was fun. My nice little morning vlog here. What's coming up? I got videos in the queue. They're already made in the can. I just need to work on them. So that'll be this week's project. You'll see a video midweek. Good seeing you though. Hope you have a great day, Gary Harris. Appreciate you being here. Isat Subono, let's hang soon. I'm here in Tokyo, but I don't have an Instagram, etc. Let me know what's the best way to reach you. Okay. Yeah, go to my website and send me a message. You can just go to tokyo.record.style or tokyorecordstyle.com and you can send me. There's a contact page, and if you just reach out to me, I'll I'll message you. Fuck. Grasshopper saying, I'm looking forward to your Canadian tag. Damn it, Grasshopper, you're not obliging me to do a Canadian tag, are you? Because I've already got the Americana tag looming over me. Oh, Shane Vinyl Records. Thank you for coming by, Shane Vinyl Records. Maybe I'll try to do the Canadian tag. I'll try to do maybe. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I promise to do it. It's gonna take me a little while, but I promise I'll look into it and I'll do it. It'll take me a little time. But nobody obliged me to do any more tags, please. I'm like, I can't do any more. I did the CD tag. I'm doing the Americana tag. I did the Beatles tag. I did the Vinyl 2026 tag. Now I have to do the Canadian tag. Okay, fine. Uh, Neil Jeffries, thanks for stopping by. Gary, I think I said thanks. Elaine stopped by. Appreciate Chris Hill. Thanks for being here. Godzilla Vinyl was in the house. Mazzy was razzing me at the beginning. Razzy's music. Razzy Mazzy. The Uber VC continues. Okay. All right. See you guys on the next stream. Bye for now. Cheers. Oh, Zedzuko, Kevin also now. See you guys next time. Bye.